good morning. Welcome to Wombled. I've come over to Bedfordshire, Sandy Warren in Bedfordshire, which is quite a famous nature reserve, I believe, because I've been looking on the hillforts map online, which I've only just discovered today, which is a very useful resource for somebody like me who likes hillforts. And I've found out that there's 3 hillforts very close to each other here. So I'm just south of Sandy, near Potton. And yes, so I'm going to walk over towards this hill fort. It's Bronze Age, so that means it's, you know, about 3,500 to 4,000 years old. I say it's Bronze Age. There's Bronze Age pottery been found up there, and we'll see what we see. This is very beautiful. This is a nature reserve. It's called Sandy Warren RSPB, Royal Society for the Protection of Birds site. Very nice. You have to pay to park, £6, but it's beautiful. Acres and acres of this. So yeah, let's go and see if we can find a hill fort and anything else we can find. It is quite a busy place. There's lots of people walking around, so I've got to be a little bit careful. But I've just I've just found, or started to see, this beautiful building here. This is like something out of a BBC drama, isn't it? I like to walk off the tracks. There's lots of tracks around for families to come down and walk. I'm sure it's probably pretty accessible for people with push chairs or people with mobility issues as well. But look at this building. Old coaching inn over there, coaching block rather. Isn't it beautiful? Look at that. I've got my sunglasses on because the sun is right in my face. You can see why they call it Warren as well. There's rabbit holes everywhere. Got to be very careful. There's another one, look. They're absolutely everywhere. But the ground is sandy up here. I think that's probably what the town of Sandy is named after. But yeah, look at this building, man. Wow. How elegant. Oh, there's a little dike there in front of me. Oh, can I not get across to it? Must be able to. Right, I'm going to find my way across. And then I'll show you it. So, just trying to find my way around to it. I believe this ditch, or dike, as I called it, may well be what is known as a ha-ha. So, the ha-ha was a device used to keep animals in, but it wouldn't spoil the view of the aristocrats or the rich people that were living in this house. You see the big windows on the front there. As they looked out, they could look over their beautiful parkland. And there'd be sheep or maybe deer grazing over here, but by the inclusion of this, it meant that the animals couldn't get onto the main lawn at the front of the building there, but it also gave the illusion that this was all one unbroken piece of ground. I think Capability Brown was a big user of you know, designer of it. He was a very famous landscape designer back in the day. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'd turn you around, but the sun is very, very bright. I think, from what I saw down there, this might be the headquarters of the local RSPB. It might even be the headquarters of the RSPB, I don't know. Let's see if we can't find out. There's paths and things around it. Yeah, okay. It doesn't say we can't go through there. Let's go and have a look at this old house then. There's some more modern buildings at the back there. But yeah, this is more modern, I'd say, at the back here. Staff operations and deliveries. Is this RSPB? Maybe it is. Maybe this is the headquarters for the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. But what a building. Wow. I don't know what age it is, probably Elizabethan. Maybe a bit later than that, I suppose. But look at this, look at that clock tower up there, and the dovecotes out the front. Isn't that beautiful? That clock tower's something else, isn't it? Let me turn it round properly. 1, 2, 3, turn that round properly. Look at that clock tower. I wonder if it's always had a clock on it. Moles, the perennial problem. But what a beautiful building. Oh, so this is a different block to the main house, look. I wonder if this was servants' quarters or something. Or guest quarters, maybe. No public access up there. But look at this. Wow. Maybe it is then. It does say there, look, RSPB reception. Maybe this is their headquarters. What a building. I'm not sure it's as old as I think it is, you know. I think it's quite modern. I'll do some research. I'll have a look. I love you see the chimneys there with a sort of intentional twist on them. There's closer ones there. You can't really see against the sunlight though, can you? Look at that there. They've got like a twist on them. That doesn't even look like it's upright, to be fair. Looks like they're crooked, but maybe that's just a trick of the design. But yeah, I'll do a little bit of research and I'll come back to you. Look at the heraldic crests, a B, 3 bunches of arrows on the one on the left there, and then what we got? Another B, then the 3 bunches of arrows, and then on the right hand side you've got like a cross, a heraldic cross, and then a rampant lion, as they're called, or probably what do they call it? Rampant Leo. Yeah, so that probably means, I mean, I don't know, but that probably means the marriage of 2 families. Anyway, let's do some research and see if I can't find out, and I'll be back in a second, and then we'll carry on walking around and we'll go and look for the hill fort that we actually came to look for. Right then, research done. Wikipedia is a great thing, isn't it? And it doesn't necessarily mean it's right, but, you know, sometimes it is. So apparently it was built in 1870, which makes me realise that it's, you know, explains why it doesn't look quite as old as something Elizabethan. It's sort of built in that style. Those chimney stacks, whilst decorative, they're not as ornate as they would have been back in the day. And apparently it was built by some Member of Parliament, William Peel. Eventually, Princess Margaret was going to buy it, but she was advised against buying it because there's a bridleway that runs through here. And obviously that poses a security risk. And yeah, and now it is the RSPB, the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, headquarters. You know, actual headquarters. I didn't know that. I've come here to look at hill forts, but then I've seen this. Anyway, I'm going to go and carry on looking for the hill forts. I'm not quite as interested now. I know it's not that old. You know, it's Victorian, isn't it? 1870s. But yeah, I'm going to try and find these hill forts. I think they're over there somewhere. So let's go and find them. So I believe the hill fort is over there. It's a little bit difficult in this woodland because it's such up and downy woodland. It's completely new to me. I've not been out here before, so it's, you know, just an interesting walk. But look at this. So the RSPB building is on top of this. So this is sandstone, look. Wow, look at this. Can you imagine? Apparently on the first hill fort I'm going to, I think it's called Gailey Hill or Galley Hill, they actually found Mesolithic flint shards. So evidence of Middle Stone Age people, sort of 5,000, 6,000 years ago. Look at this. That tree root there growing through from that great big pine tree up there. Wow, and what a landscape. We're not far from London here either, to be fair. But yeah, I think I need to be over there, which is where I'm going to head to now. But it is very, very pretty. It's well worth the few quid I've had to spend to come and look. Look at this. Wow. 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 You don't expect this in this part of the country. Look at that. Oh, I need to get some photos, don't I? Wow, man. Let's put my sunglasses down. Look at that. I'm trying to get it into focus. Wow. I presume it's probably quite boggy down here. Oh, there is a path that goes around there. I probably should use the path, shouldn't I? look at that. Wow. Who'd have thought? Yeah, look at this. Wherever there's soft stone, we see this in a lot of old castles and things. People carve their names, look. And yeah, I don't think that's a modern thing. I wonder if there's any old dates on there. To be fair, this is still eroding. Look at this down here. Amazing. TG, I wonder how. Well, it is quite hard. It's quite hard. It's not something you're just gonna. You'd have to come down here and do it with a rock. What's that say? 1952 or 1992 maybe? No, because that's a 5, isn't it? There you go. Yeah. Wow. You don't expect this, do you? In the south of England, you really don't. You know, when you go up north to the Peak District and the Lake District and places like that, you see places like this. But look at this. Right. I'm going to take a few photos. I was hoping for a cave there, but yeah, look at more, what do you call it? Anyway, there's a bird lives in there, look. I wonder what it is. Looks like it's pretty fresh as well. It could well be a bird of prey, that. I probably shouldn't be down here, but these cliffs actually continue round. I'll carry on walking on the path itself in a minute, but yeah, I'll get some photos first. Anyway, as beautiful as this is, I'm trying to do some research to see whether it's a quarry or something, but I'm not getting much internet underneath here. But as beautiful as this is, I'm here to look for hillforts, and I believe it's over there. So, yeah, but it's well worth coming and having a look at. Look at this. Isn't it stunning? Really is beautiful. It looks like there was a notice board thing there, but that's gone now. I think my hillfort, I've got my drink in my hand, there we go, is over here. So I've got to drop back down again. So I've just climbed back up, and my hillfort is the other side of the hill there, the other side of this valley. I'm sure there are pathways to it, but I like to think that, yeah, I'm going to go that way. I'm going to go straight down. So, first of all, I've got to stop and put my drink, which I just took out my bag, back in my bag, because I think I might need both hands going down there. Right. And when I say both hands, what I actually mean is one hand to hold the camera and another hand to hold onto the trees. It's very, very steep. I like to kind of do it the way our ancestors might have done it. You imagine if this was your fortified place, this was where you had your family on top of here, on this hill on the other side. Not only would you have to get up and over this hill without making noise, and human beings are big clumsy animals, as you can hear in the background. There's some beautiful trees here. I can hear other people around the place as well, but it does say to stay on the paths. But rules are made to be broken, aren't they? Look at this. It's probably going to be pretty boggy when we get down here. But I've got my wellies on today. Oh, it's not that bad actually. But yeah, I believe up here is my hillfort. Up there. I don't know whether this is quarry works. Anyway, through all this bracken, won't be able to do this in the summer. And this is the thing as well. Obviously, the RSPB is an environmental kind of agency. You know, trying to help birds and other animals and all kinds of things. And they plant all these trees. But what they do is they plant these trees with these guards around them that obviously eventually end up being knocked over or grown out of, and they end up rotting away, or not rotting away, and becoming part of this environment. And you know, I'm sure there's probably, you know, some green credentials. No, that's pretty solid plastic, that is. But we know that there has been Mesolithic flints found on the top of this hill. So that's Middle Stone Age up here. And that's all that they left behind. But I dread to think that, you know, 5,000 years, we'll be finding these bits of plastic all over the place. And I've just seen over here, one of the things that really grinds my gears is this. You see that balloon up there? Let me turn the camera around because I'm holding it the wrong way around. But somebody somewhere has had a birthday or a memorial or something, whatever, and they've just let a balloon go. And now look at it. I thought it, from over there, when I saw it, I thought it was a sign or something. But it's not, it's just discarded litter. It's just, and I know it's a beautiful thing, you know, to remember somebody's birthday or whatever. Anyway, look at this, yeah. This isn't an easy climb up here. And if you imagine an angry bunch of Bronze Age people with their Mesolithic flint arrows raining down on you, spearheads, as you came up here. Don't know why you'd come up here. I suppose the high ground is where you're looking for, isn't it? But you imagine coming up here. You would have had all the modern conveniences of wellies and backpacks and plastic drinks containers and all that kind of stuff. You'd be living on your wits, wouldn't you? And the ground is actually shifting underfoot quite a lot. It's not called sandy for no reason. It's the ground is, this is difficult terrain, and so you can imagine why it was important to the Stone Age people and then the Iron Age people. You know, Stone Age, then the Bronze Age, then the Iron Age, and then probably the Romans as well, before the Anglo-Saxons probably didn't really use it anymore because they had low-lying settlements, and then into the Norman times when they built their castles everywhere. But this was a castle of its day, wasn't it? This was the highest point. Oh my goodness, look how steep it is. I'm absolutely out of breath. Oh, wow. Oh, woodcock. That's why they don't want us straying off the paths, and there's another one. But here we are. Wow. I mean, you wouldn't get to the top of this and then want to fight with somebody, would you? So, Stone Age people up on the top here, defending this high point. Oh, and as you probably saw there are people around. And here we go. Ditches and banks. Oh, I need to get my breath back. Yeah, that was a bit of a climb. I don't think that the Stone Age or the Bronze Age people would have had a nice recycled plastic bench provided for them. In loving memory of Andrew Joel Francis, greatly missed by his family. So many happy memories, a life well lived. That's a nice thing, isn't it? When you look at the view that his family can come and look at. Beautiful day today, absolutely gorgeous. There's a lovely little family of long-tailed tits in this tree. I don't know if you can see them. I don't know what you can see. The screen on this camera is tiny. See them flitting around? Beautiful little birds. And the sound of the road is that you might be able to hear behind me. I know I've got my microphone on today, so it might be muffling some of the sounds, but the sound of the road behind me is the A1. It used to be the Great North Road. It was a Roman road before that. Not all of it, obviously bits have been changed along the way. And so it's probably an ancient track once I've got my breath back, I'll have a look around this hill fort here and see what it looks over. But like I always say, I would imagine that these hill forts would have been deforested. A lot of them had, where the banks are, they'd have put palisades up, like a fence. I don't know why we don't use the word fence. When you're reading about it in archaeology circles and things, they go palisade, you mean a fence. But it would have been made out of the trees that were around, and it would have added another layer of protection. Not only have you got to get up this hill, but then you've got another 6-8 feet of wooden fence, and you know, a 2 metre ditch in some cases. I mean, more than that. If you look at the Hunsbury Hill video, those are about 3.5 metres tall, they are. And there's other hill forts that I do know of that I will go and look at some point, and they've got really, really big sort of 4 or 5 metre ditches and banks, you know, the difference between them. Anyway, I'm whittling on. We'll go and have a look. So you can see quite clearly here the ditch. It's probably a lot higher now than it used to be, and the bank, which is probably a lot lower than it used to be. And having climbed up to get here, you've got all that to get over. And I'm about, what am I? I'm about 1.8 metres tall, or a little bit under that. And you can see it's not really out by the sun being there, but yeah, it's about I mean, it's taller than I am. It's 2 metres at this point. So you imagine back in the day, you know, during the Bronze Age and the Iron Age, it would have been probably a lot higher than that then. But yeah, a lot of this has been reforested, and you don't get the sort of the splendour of it. A lot of hill forts are like this, but I think I might go down to Swindon next week, because one of my favourite hill forts is down there. But yeah, this is a very interesting one. There's 3 very close together. Like I said at the beginning, I said 2, but now I've looked and there's 3. And apparently they found in the ditch down here, Albion Archaeology, this archaeological company, found sandy deposits, which would be indicative, or grey sandy deposits, which might be indicative of a palisade fence being on the top here, or a fence, like we just said, being on the top here, that got burnt down, maybe in a time of struggle or something. But yeah, this is it. This is Galley Hill Fort. That's another one off the list. And I'll leave it down below the hill fort map that I've been looking at. And it would seem to me that I don't think anywhere in the country you're more than sort of 20 miles away from a hill fort. And obviously as you go out north and west, it becomes much more, you know, they're everywhere, absolutely everywhere. But this is, you can't see it down here, but this is where the Great North Road runs, which was probably an ancient track anyway. Buzzard up there, look, I don't know if you can see him. Beautiful. So yeah, I mean, we're not far from London, Stevenage and Bedford. I mean, you can hear some shooting going on over here. Beautiful, beautiful countryside, this. Yeah, look at this. So I'm on back down in the ditch again. I've got the sun against me here, haven't I? But that would have been the same back in, you know, you imagine back in Bronze Age times. I mean, I've still, they've got brand new trees planted here, look. Brand new spruce trees planted. You imagine coming up here to this defended spot up on the top here, which might have been home to a lot of angry people and intent on making sure that you didn't get over the fence, over the palisade. And maybe the people that came up actually burnt the palisade, burnt the fence. But yeah, this is where I was a second ago, just down in here. And you can see the ditch quite clearly there. The sun helps us with this. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. And that's another one off the list. So I need to go and find the other 2. They're all within walking distance. And there's also an abandoned railway somewhere not far away from here, which is always a bit of a bonus, isn't it? I was just thinking to myself, it's a very sort of middle class thing, isn't it, to go for a walk. And the only reason I'm saying that is because there's paths and everything up here, and everyone's wandering around on them, shepherded round, herded around, and they're not actually coming down here and actually enjoying it. They're walking through it instead of being part of it, which is a bit weird, isn't it? I mean, it's not peaceful, don't get me wrong, because I can hear the A1 just behind me, but I suppose it's as close as peacefulness as you're going to get in this part of the world, isn't it? I mean, all these trees have been planted. There's nothing really new here, old here. There's the odd oak about, but not on this side of the hill. This is where, on this side of the hill, is where it would have actually overlooked the valley. But obviously I can't see any of that now. And I'm not about to get the drone up in a nature reserve, to be perfectly honest. I've got it with me, but I think it would probably be frowned upon. There's nesting birds and all kinds of things. But yeah, and I suppose that's why people are staying on the paths, because they don't want to upset the birds. But you've got to be part of it. We are part of it, aren't we? Anyway, I'm going on again. I'm actually walking on the top of what would have been the ramparts. Oh, little deer, do you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Bless it. Literally just in these bushes right next to me. But I'm walking, there she goes. But I'm walking on the ramparts of this fort, this monument. They're scheduled monuments, these are now. And so this is the area here that would have had the tribe, family, whatever, loose group of people living together. And you get a real feeling when you stood on here of how difficult it would have been to get up here, because I just saw somebody down here, right at the bottom, in the valley down there, and they were tiny, but also that's very steep. And you imagine if this bank was another metre higher, obviously it's worn away, you can see it a bit better over that side, but another metre higher, you'd have had good views across here before these trees were here, down into the valley. I don't know if there's a horse. There you go, through the trees down there. Can you see the horse? So yeah, it shows you how far away, how low down it is. So yes, Galley Hill Fort. I know I've said it earlier, but yeah, that's another one off the list. And it's very nice up here. Obviously there are paths around it, but if you actually want to experience it, you need to get off the path a little bit. Yeah, and feel it. Our ancestors were up here defending it for some reason, or defending themselves maybe not defending this necessarily, but defending, keeping themselves safe from harm. Quite a lot of frost underneath here, but yeah, it's changed so much as well, hasn't it? You know, in 6,000 years. We've no idea what this was like up here, really, have we? There could have been little wooden huts or anything. I believe in one of them, I was reading that when they did an archaeological excavation, they found a post hole, a big wide post hole, which might point to a sort of big roundhouse. I don't know whether it was this hill fort or the other one. And it is such a pity, because for me, I know progress is progress, but the fact is it's completely wooded now. You can't see out. You can't actually see it for what it was. It's very similar to the Hunsbury Hill one. But if I walk over here, you can see, I don't know what that is over there, what town it is. It's probably Sandy, maybe Potton. But through the trees over there is some big houses and things. Well, just houses. But yeah, anyway, that's this one discovered. On to the next one. So, I suppose one of the bonuses of using the, tracks, the signposted tracks, is you get this stuff. So here we go, look, you're in a safe space, safe place. You're at the top of a steep hill. There are no trees for shelter. When you need water, you must walk down to the river and carry it up. But this defended hill fort on Galley Hill is a safe place for you and your livestock, and you feel cosy and secure in your roundhouse. So they're saying they're the roundhouse, so maybe this is the one that had the roundhouse on the top of it. Hill forts could be permanent settlements, places of refuge, markets and gatherings, or stock enclosures. Galley Hill is part of a series built on the Green Sand Ridge during the late Bronze Age and early Iron Age, around 2,500 years ago. It's unusually close to two other hill forts, Caesar's Camp on the eastern edge of Sandy and Sandy's Lodge, which is near the Lodge House. We'll go and have a look at that then. And Galley, this is the best preserved, and you can see really clearly here, look. There is, you know, I mean, it's been there for 2,500 years. It's crazy. Just see it underneath here. You can see it going off into the distance there. But yeah, what was life like here? Evidence has been found of an early settlement in the rounded southwest corner. The hill fort was constructed later. Okay, so there was a settlement before the hill fort. Interesting. The original hill fort entrance was 3 metres wide, large enough for wheeled carts as well as pedestrians. Inside Galley Hill's ramparts, there may have been timber roundhouses, storage pits, raised granaries and hearths. Galley Hill is set on a prominent steep-sided hilltop commanding good views of the River Ivel to the south, which is that way. We know that because that's where the sun is. On the flatter northern side, you can see a ditch and high bank, which may have been topped with a wooden palisade. There's that word again, palisade. The bank defences continue around the western and southern sides of the hill fort, and the steepness of the natural slope protecting the eastern side. There you go. So what it's saying there is that the River Ivel is over here, and then it continues round. I did read something not that long ago, or like in the last 10 minutes or so, about a cursus. I'm not 100% sure what a cursus is, but what is that down there? It's like a teepee or something. I'm going to go and look. What is that down there? I'm off the tracks again. I'll get in trouble. What is this? Are my eyes playing tricks on me? No, it's a teepee, isn't it? What the heck is that? Ooh. It's easier getting down than it is getting up. Oh, there's a stone wall here as well, so this must be somebody else's property. Well, let's have a look. Yeah, an old stone wall. Yeah, interesting. What is this then? Wow. 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 Look at this. Hello? I feel like I'm intruding. Look at that. What a place. Wow. Well, I think there's probably people here, to be honest. So, I'm not going to disturb them. Good. I'm glad that people are still living the ways that we used to live. Awesome. And there's the hill fort behind me. And then I've come down here, and there's somebody's makeshift, not igloo, what are they called? Teepee. Wow. I'm not going to wander around because I think, oh, there's sheep over there, so maybe, no. There are some black sheep over there. They wouldn't come onto here, would they? Because this is RSPB land. I don't know. Anyway, very interesting indeed. There's a farmhouse just there, so maybe it's just something to do with that. But beautiful. Anyway, let's carry on. So curiosity's got the better of me. And I've actually come over. They do say that curiosity kills the cat. But I've actually come over to look at this. And it's actually, it's a little meeting place. Wow, man. Wow. They've put this little table in the way. I'm sure they won't mind if I have a look. I'm not going to... I'm not going to advertise the place. I suppose I probably am, but look at that, man. Hey, and they've got all their spirits and that there, look. Well, I won't put that bit in, but what a place. Well done to them. Well done to them. And there are a few houses just through the woodland here. But what a thing. And it's built out of wood as well. It's not built out of steel. Fair dues to them. What a place. Wow. And they are using roofing materials. This is roofing materials, but I mean, you can't fault them that, can you? It's a proper teepee. There's a fireplace inside and everything. Wow. Wow. Awesome. I'll get a few photos. Right then, there you go. I don't know. It seems a bit strange to me that you've got that just, I mean, literally, this is the open ground here of the heath, and this is part, you know, there's no hedges, no fences, no nothing. There's a remains of an old wall here. And this actually shows you quite well how when a wall falls over, it creates this mound. But this wall has been over a long time, and that is relatively modern. I mean, it is modern. It's been made out of the trees that are surrounding it. Amazing. Anyway, I'm a little bit flummoxed by that. It's a bit strange. You don't see things like that. And the fact they've got, you know, bottles and bottles of booze and things in there, just left. I don't know whether I should be telling you about that, but anyway, onwards and upwards. One of the problems with wandering around the sort of off the paths is obviously people have dogs, and I'm terrified of dogs, and they come bounding out towards me. But yeah, that's where the teepee's just down there, and you can actually see through there. Actually, you might be able to see the valley. Imagine this without trees on it. Yeah, it would have been something else. But I think my next hill fort is this direction. Yeah, you really can see the valley over there, or across the plain. Don't know if I'm not sure what the zoom does on this, but you can see it's actually quite a sort of flat area. Okay, I'll have to look at my maps and work out where I am now. I'm not lost, am I? You're only lost if you don't know where you're going. And I don't know where I'm going. No, you're only lost if you know where you're going, I suppose, aren't you? If you don't know where you're going, you're not lost, are you? So I'm continuing to wherever it is I'm not going to. And then, after nearly being run over by a cyclist, which you probably saw behind me in the last bit, but this all breaks out into this heathland. There's something there, but it is quite heavily fenced, and I'm not going to start clambering over. And I wonder if this is another memorial bench. Look, Amelia Kate Rowland, 7th of January. Oh, so this is our angel wrote in the book of life our baby's date of birth, then whispered as she closed the book, too beautiful for earth. So 7th of January, what are we now? It's about the 24th, 25th of January. So the family must have bought these up. And I'm assuming that this is, bless them. Nice place for it though, isn't it? Bless them. Yeah, makes you think, doesn't it? Things like that. Anywho, I'll try not to get run over by cyclists, as I'm telling you how not lost I am. And yeah, this is beautiful. There's a windmill over there, spoiling the bloody view of it all, but I suppose it's powering part of the RSPB as they do their bit for nature. I think Sandy Hill transmitters are not that far from here either. There are some small transmitters over here, but that's not Sandy Hill. Anyway. Morning. Lots of people out. Ooh, bricks. What is this then? You see that in the track there? See there's bricks? Why would there be bricks in the middle of nowhere? Was the wall running through here? More bricks just there, look. Maybe there was a building up here. of some description. And like I've said a few times, we're not far from London. If you've got one of those sort of busy London lifestyles, this must be an absolute... I mean, it's a gem anyway for me. I mean, I live in the countryside anyway, kind of, at the edge of the countryside. And it's beautiful to come up and see this. But, you know, you're a hectic, I mean, estate agent or whatever, I don't know, IT person, whatever. This would be a lovely place to come and just unwind. £6 to park for the day. That's until 7 o'clock tonight, so I've got loads of time yet. I don't know what time it is, I don't wear a watch, but yeah, what a beautiful place. I'm rabbiting on again, aren't I? But yeah. It looks like the pathway goes over there. This might be the other hill fort, because they are really, really close to each other apparently. But isn't that beautiful? It is. I mean, it's all obviously a managed landscape now for birds and things, which I don't think is a bad thing. Otherwise, you know, companies and rapacious landowners and farmers would do something with it, wouldn't they? But yeah, there's another bench here. I think that bench is my signal to have another quick sip of my drink, gather my thoughts on where I am, and then go on to the next place, as I keep saying I'm going to. But I'm going to do it now. So I've just seen a couple of people walking over there with a dog, and then I saw about 10 deer coming through this bit here. I don't know. There's definitely some movement up there, but the dog obviously scared the deer up. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful place, this is. Yeah, very nice. But like I say, I'm going to have my cigarette and my drink. So there we go, successfully refreshed and on the move again. The other hill fort is quite a distance. From what I can work out, that first bit that I was at was a hill fort. Then obviously that big bit that we saw, all the embankments and that. But again, I'm off the beaten track because this is where I saw the little monk. There he is. There he is. Bless him. Her, it, them, they, Zim Zimmer. Who got the keys to my bimmer? Bless him. Probably just having a little nest here. But yeah, it is really, really beautiful up here. I don't know how far. There he is. There he is. Hello, mate. There he is. Bless him. Look at that, just melts away into the undergrowth. Just melted. Unbelievable. And then even here, look, out in this beautiful bit here, they've got this plastic, and it is breaking down, but even so, I don't know how long that's going to take to break down. I know it'll go on, but yeah, that's pretty. If someone was to just throw that, you know, if you're in a town centre and someone left that behind, you'd go pick it up, wouldn't you? It's a bit strange. There's got to be more ecologically sound ways of doing things. Anyway, I'm not going to keep on chasing the little deer. I am heading in this direction. Now, I know that there is a track up there, and I'm just heading over there. But this is little, where I saw a few deer up on here. You can see evidence of them where they've been rootling around as well. Lots of rabbits up here, I'd imagine as well. A little green fence in there. Anywho, I'm going to continue over there and see if I can see the other hill fort. There's very little of it remains, and also there's a big private house on top of it. But it is what it is. Oh, now I'm looking at this. This has been managed quite carefully, hasn't it? Look. So these are all being, these little beech trees are actually being chopped down all over the place. There you go, look. So they are managing this to keep it open like this. And again, look up there in that tree, on the corner of that tree there, another one of them bloody balloons. It's just a plague It's not a plague, is it? But, you know, there's really no need for it, is there? It's... Oh, yeah, there's another deer up there. Yeah, can you see him at the bottom of the tree? Bless him. I can see him. Don't know whether the camera will pick it up. Yeah, there's a couple. We've got the red kite up here as well. Right, all of this over here is quarry workings. I've just been looking on the OS maps. It still shows it on the modern OS maps as quarry workings. And I would assume, I can hear people talking over there, so I'm assuming I'm getting back to the path. But yeah, can you imagine if I wasn't here? Yeah, you can see a big quarry here, look at this. All taken out. There's people walking through it now there. But taking out all of this hillside to build with, I would assume. This, even though it looks, the colour of it looks like it's rich in iron. Oh, yep, I'm zoomed in again, I know. The colour of it looks like it's rich in iron. But I don't think they were. Oh, ironstone mining up here, like they were in Northamptonshire so much. Anyway, I'm going that direction. See you in a bit. So when I'm out looking for these hill forts, I'm always looking at the signs, and it's sometimes very easy to misinterpret the landscape and sort of go, oh look, there's a hill there, and it's overlooking over there. And it, yeah, probably would have been used for a settlement because it's above the surrounding land, but not necessarily a hill fort. And this is actually, I've literally just come, oh yep, I'm going to get run over again. So this was old quarry workings down here, and probably built most of the old towns of Sandy and Potton. Potton has got an interesting history, the village of Potton. Anyway, the reason I've turned this round is just to show you there's bricks here. I mean, they might have been brought up just to line the path, might they? But yeah, no, the town of Potton, which is just around here somewhere, I was just reading this morning, named after pottery, settlement. So they must have had, back in the Anglo-Saxon times, they must have had a sort of bit of a history for, a reputation for making good pottery. And but they also had a big fire in the 1750s or something like that, and it burnt most of the town down. If I get time, I might drive into the town and have a look. But I've got to go back to the car at some point. I don't know where it is at the moment. I'm looking for this other hill fort, which I believe is over there. So unless I see anything else, I'll see you shortly. So this is quite interesting. Look, this old wall and these gateposts leading into the quarry. I don't know when the quarry was used, but they might have had a brickworks or something here as well. I don't know. But yeah, look at that. So I've just come out of the RSPB reserve. I was hoping to get through there, but that does say private all over it. Old quarry workings. But my next target, that sounds good, doesn't it? Target, is a hill fort over here. There's very little of it remaining apparently, but I really don't like walking along roads. I'd much prefer to go straight across there, but I'm not going to go up, just use it as a path to get somewhere. If there was something in there I wanted to see, I'd probably have a look, but it's just woodland. Some beautiful old trees in there as well. But yeah, anyway, I'm on this bit of quite a busy road. Yeah, look. I don't like roads. I like driving along them, but I don't like walking along them. But my hill fort is in those hills over there. Not much of a hill, I know, but it's certainly higher than the surrounding land, isn't it? I'm down here and they're up there. Anyway, I'll just continue walking along the road until I can get in there. Just stumbled upon this little chapel of rest. Lovely little building. You can see it's built out of the same red stone that's on top of the hill fort there. What a beautiful little place. Don't know how old that is. but it is very pretty. And that's the thing, isn't it? We're surrounded by so much noise now, aren't we? I suppose these people are at rest, however you want to say it. There's a bell in the tower as well, a little bell. But this is how we sort of remember ours now, isn't it? But back in the Bronze Age, they had the burial mounds, and I would assume that those were probably for the more prestigious people in society. It's a big old place, to be fair. There's a lot of graves here. There's an ambulance there on his way to pick up the next one. Yeah, look at them all. Big old place. But a very pretty building. Yeah. It might have something on the doorway, little triptych stained, well, not stained glass, just glass window. There you go. Triptych meaning three, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing. Me, myself, and I, all that kind of thing. And again, on this side. Loving memory of Margaret Mary Irvine. So yeah, little chapel of rest. You've got one hill fort over here. You've got one hill fort over there. I'll leave these people to rest. So, my hill fort's up here. But I'm just by Sandy railway station. I don't know what it is, whether it's East Coast, Main Line. I'm not into my trains, am I? Not in that way. But yeah, my hill fort's up here. So, lots of signs saying private property. I know that there is a private residence on the top of it, which is a bit of a pity, isn't it? But if I can get an idea, it's very, very industrial down here. It's not what you kind of expect with sort of ancient hill forts and monuments, really, is it? You've got the train line just there, buses going backwards and forwards between Sandy and Popham. There's some kind of business in front of me. I don't know, is it a business or electrical substation or something? And then in there is me hill fort. But I'll get as close to it as I can, and we'll see if we can see any evidence of it. And onwards and upwards. I think it goes this way. Yeah, goes this way. It's amazing, really. I've literally just come a few steps. That's the electrical thing that we were just looking at. I think I'm at the point where I'm as close to the hill fort as I can get without going on to private property, private woodland. No right to wait. I know there's a house up there, so I don't think I'm going to go up there. But you can see how steep it was. Steep it is. This one was called Caesar's Camp. And the thing is, I mean, the people that live up there, that's private. Yeah, that's, you know, it's a private house. And I suppose they're just continuing the tradition, aren't they, of living there, you know, or at least residing there, looking after the land. And that's an interesting thing as well when you think about it, isn't it? Because they don't own the land, do they? They're just looking after it, maybe for their children or whatever. But, you know, 1,000 years from now, nobody will remember their name. But yeah, my hill fort's up there. There's other people here, so I have to put the camera down. I don't have to put the camera down, but that's as close as we're going to get to this one. Now, the path actually does turn in here. Right, okay. So I might get a little bit closer. Look at that tree stump. Look at that. Isn't that artistic? Nature's the best artist. Yeah, and there's some this is quite an old tree grove. But yeah, where I want to be is just behind the fence here. Oh well, it is what it is. I mean, I'm still having to go uphill. This is still a bit of a trudge. It's steeper if I'd gone this way up it as well. There you go, look, that tree there has got evidence of the plastic around it, look. And it's just in, oh God, where is it? There you go. It's in nature now. But yeah. So this is, there you go, I can see there we go. I can see some evidence of of the actual ramparts. I think just here, oh God, it's a bit of a climb that. Just there, you can see there's a bit of a bank and the remains of a ditch. This might be the bank just here, to be fair. But yeah, and like I say, that's a hill, you know. Might not look like much from afar, but by the time you've got up here, and granted I smoke, I'm not a very healthy person, but by the time you've got up here, you're already out of breath. And if you've got some angry Celts up there, or Belgique people, you know, from the Bronze Age and that, throwing sticks and rocks and whatever, whilst you're already out of breath, you're going to go, nah, we'll give that one a miss. And you're going to go down into the valley somewhere, aren't you? You can't go over to the next hill because there's another hill fort on the next hill, isn't there? So yeah, interesting. But like I say, there is a house in here, and it's quite a grand house, I think. Probably with security. Could be somebody quite famous or something living here or whatever. But yeah, so this is the hill fort. This was the hill fort, and the house is just there. You can probably see it. But I'm just going to carry on walking, come out the other side, and see about getting back to the other one. Again, I've not got far, but I just saw this. I'm wondering whether that was planted on the inside, and the local Utes have been up here and ripped it up. I think it's a camellia. That would have been beautiful, that would have been. Pity that. That's only just recently been pulled out. That's a beautiful, beautiful plant that is. Just about to flower. Bless it. And someone's just ripped it up from wherever it's from. I can understand people sort of, you know, wanting to get into this woodland. I can understand it, but I can also understand this person's want for privacy. And if they, you know, if they own it, they're looking after it for now. This fence here is no different than the Bronze Age palisade, really. I mean, if I wanted to, I could go through that, couldn't I? And I could, you know, pretend I'm one of those, what do you call it? But at the end of the day, I'd get, but I mean, he might have dogs in there, and I'm terrified of dogs. But, you know, I'd call the police and all that kind of thing, and it wouldn't do me any favours, would it? But yeah, I mean, if I find out that's where they keep all the money, I'm back. Let's go over here. There's a bit of a promontory here. We might get a view down into the valley of what we're looking at. So you imagine the Iron Age, Bronze Age, Stone Age people living up here, just a little bit higher than the surrounding land, enough to give them a bit of a head start on. Oh, it continues over there, look. It's like a heathland. Okay. But it's just enough to give them a bit of a head start. If trouble comes, they can start preparing, you know, getting their weapons ready if they need to do that. Or I suppose you could even look at it and go, you know, they could see that family are coming and, you know, start preparing. Butcher a goat or something, a sheep or a horse, I don't know, or, you know. Back in the day when they dug these things as well, they were using things like deer antler and things like that. But yeah, here we go. This is very nice. So this really gives you an idea of, yeah, this is nice. This is what I wanted. Look at that beautiful tree, man. Beautiful old tree. Little boy's bike there. I don't know if he's still with it. It's probably been dumped up here. I suppose like any community, it's got its problems. Look at this. Wow. Look at the views from here. Wow. Oh no, the kids are still here, look. So this is Sandy down here. All the way over to Bedford over there. Milton Keynes is in that direction. Then down here, it goes down to London. And then I think on the very, very edge of that over there, let me see, I'm looking into the sun there, I'm trying to, that's not going to work, is what I believe is the Ridgeway. I was going to go there this morning, but didn't in the end. So yeah, this is the town of Sandy. I don't know what it was built on, where its money came from, but yeah, got to be a little bit careful now because there's kids about. But so yeah, you imagine the Stone Age people up here with this view, looking out across this, and again, it would have been damp, it would have been muddy, it would have been horrible, but they'd have been able to see all the way across there. None of this would have been here, obviously. Trees and rivers and things, it's all been ditched and canalled, and train lines and roads and things now. So just in the distance there is the A1. Just in the distance, let me see, you can't see it because the sun's in the bloody way. But so the A1 is the Great North Road. Prior to that, it was a Roman road, and probably, you know, you look through this valley here, probably been used for 1,000 years before the Romans turned up. Anywho, I'm going to sit and enjoy it for a minute, and then work out what I'll do next. So I've had a sit and a think and a little read. And so Sandy actually was a Roman town. Obviously on the Great North Road, coming out of London up to the north of the country, up to Lincoln. And the North Road's just over there. And it's always been pretty much a coaching town, a transit place along that route. Grew a lot in the 1970s, but it's named after this hill that I'm stood on, really, which is Sandy, the Sand Island, which is what this is. I mean, you look at the ground, and it obviously sits up above the surrounding countryside. Another interesting thing that I read as well was that somewhere out there, I don't know where, I'd have to have a look, but there was a settlement that was kept by one of the kings of the Danelaw, one of the Vikings, to actually protect the Danelaw. So the Danelaw was when the Vikings came over and started encroaching onto the British land. It wasn't called. I suppose it was Britain then, wasn't it? But not English at that point, really. The Angles were here, but the Vikings came over and they started to overwinter. They started coming on summer raids, and then they'd overwinter. And slowly and surely they built up their communities around them, and that then became a protected place underneath the sort of auspices of the Danelaw. You know, they started bringing kings over and fighting over the land and things. And apparently one of their camps was just down here. I'd have to have a look into that and maybe come back for another visit another time. But I'm going back into this bit of woodland, which is where I'd love to have gone to the top. I can see the house in there, to be fair. And yeah, I don't know I'll follow it this way. Still got a bit of daylight left to get back to the car. Yeah, I've only gone up there to look at that headland. So, yeah, I mean, it's very pretty. They must have some money living up here, mustn't they? In all that woodland. I'm sure they've got pretty good security. I did get the drone over the top and took a photo, but it's nothing that you can't see on Google Earth anyway, is it? But yeah, this is it. This is Caesar's Camp Hillfort. Oh, the fence disappears off down through there. Okay, but I'm not going that way. Yeah, there is a lot of trails just all the way round it. Yeah, there's big signs everywhere and the fence is obviously there. They're not rich enough to have a proper fence, but they're rich enough to own the hill. Yeah. And then I'm down onto a little road here, like a holloway almost. Yeah. Lovely. So, that was Caesar's Camp Hillfort. I'm going back towards the car now, and there is another one that I'm not sure whether I might have been on it, but we'll go and have a look. See you in a bit. So that's quite interesting. This bit over here, obviously, is the Hillfort, and this is the hill going down here. Obviously, this is private, you can't go in, but also, this bit's private, but it's kind of accepted. There's pathways and everything through it, that you can wander through it. I suppose they probably own the whole hillside, didn't they? And, yeah, look, here we go, look. So this is private land, it says, there we go, look. But it's obviously very well travelled by the local people. I'll put that little sign there, look. There you go. I suppose that's what the landowner has to do, isn't it? There you go. Any trespassing is at your own risk and the owners will not be held liable for any losses or... But yeah, it's obviously quite a well-travelled route by local people, isn't it? Hey up, tripping over. But yeah. So, anyway. Very pretty. Here we are. Look at this. I can't think of its name, but that is birch polypore. That mushroom. That there apparently has... You can sharpen a knife on the skin, apparently. Yeah. I'll leave that growing there. As you can see, there's another older, decayed one above it. But at this time... Oh, careful. At this time of the year, there's not a lot in the way of foraging, to be perfectly honest. You'd struggle, wouldn't you? If all you had to live off was these meagre berries. You can understand why people probably would have, you know, had their encampments up there where they stored everything together and defended it jealously. Because anybody around here, if they're getting hungry, hunger will drive you to do some strange things, won't it? And then up onto I can just see the outline of the house over there. But yeah, hunger would drive you to do all kinds. And if you knew they've got food and drink over there, you'd be over there, wouldn't you? And I suppose that's what the Hillforts were about, really, isn't it? It's communities looking out for each other, looking after themselves. Little squirrel through there. It's a bit of a pity that it is now under private ownership, but, you know, there's Hillforts everywhere. So, you know, the odd one or two to the greedy capitalists, I suppose we've got to allow, haven't we? Another sign here. Following multiple incidents of antisocial behaviour, sandpit connected, fence is restricted, will be restricted. It's being fenced and public access to the area will be restricted. The south side of Sand Lane, opposite the pinnacle, will remain open to the public. I think this is the south side, isn't it? No, the south side's the other side, because that's where the sun is. Interesting, okay. There are also various footpaths nearby. The Everton estate, okay. So that's who it is. Is that you, John? John Everton? Is this your family seat? Okay, the Everton estate. I'll have to have a look into that. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, like I was saying, there's not a lot to forage at this time of the year. Really isn't. You'd go hungry if you didn't have food, wouldn't you? If you'd not stored anything. Wow. Yeah. It must have been difficult back then, mustn't it? You know what I mean? I mean, they knew different things and they were hardier than we are, I'm sure. But yeah, what a time. And this is, I mean, you've got to think about it as well. This is the pinnacle of human achievement, isn't it, at this point? Certainly in this iteration of it. I'm of the belief that there's been a few iterations of human or human-like creatures on this planet. But we're sort of at the pinnacle. We must be at the pinnacle of it. I suppose we could be going over it, couldn't we? It might not be the pinnacle after all. But anyway, it's very beautiful around here. It is spoilt a little bit by these bloody great, what do you call it, electrical towers. But if we didn't have electrical towers, I wouldn't have a phone, would I? Oh, trees come down. Somebody's working over there, getting a little bit of firewood in. Fair dues to him. So yeah, I'm going to get up to this bit of woodland now and see which way on the OS maps I have to go from there. Yeah, it's very peaceful down in places like this. Apart from the roads, I mean, people travelling through. I was saying on my other video the other day when I was up at Arbury Hill about rural policing, because you can imagine out here, you know, that house is there on its own, and people are people, you know what I mean? They've got something, and those out there haven't got something, and people will want to take that sometimes. And you can imagine the coppers that have to deal with these far-flung, you know, communities and residences, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm rabbiting on again, aren't I? I'll shut up. Look at this. In the roadside detritus, somebody's old gloves and things, packet of cigarettes, is first signs of spring. There we go, little snowdrops coming up. Beautiful. I mean, it's felt very spring-like today. Ooh. 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 Okay. So, just over here, there is something in the woodland. There's something in there. I've just seen it as I walked down, like a building. I'm going to go around this way and see if I can see it from over there. Yes. Yeah, a little garage or something in there. I mean, it does say everywhere. It says private, private, private. But, you see, that's a bit different. Just to be seeing a quick hop over there. No, it's definitely used. Oh, yeah. No, there's gun targets up there. I don't think I will. I was going to go and have a look. But, yeah. Country ways, country folk. Right, I've done it again. I've taken the long way round, but it's beautiful. I'm on a road, but what can you do? So this bit of woodland here, where there was that what do you call it, structure in the middle of it. It said all over the side, archery in progress, and there were loads of little targets everywhere. And it is a Saturday, and you never know, they might be out archering. So I don't think they were, because I didn't hear any noise, but I'm not going to go wandering over just to have a look at a shed that, you know, they work out of. But yeah, it's still very beautiful up here. So now I'm on this ridge, aren't I? Because I've climbed upwards, and I'm on this is the Green Sand Ridge. So have you seen the recent tunnel video? Can't remember the name of it now. This footpath that runs along here, somewhere, along this, look at that up there. That was me making that noise, not it, obviously. But yeah, the Green Sand Ridge footpath is along here somewhere. And this clearing here between the trees there is purely to allow these horrible great monstrosities to stride through the landscape. I mean, the thing is, people own land, don't they? You know, they're looking after it. Most farmers that I know, and don't get me wrong, I don't know many, but most landowners, I think they're aware of their sort of role in just looking after the land. That's why they hand it on to their children, isn't it? Rather than just giving it. I mean, so you do hear of people giving their estates away, don't you, at the end of their lives. But yeah, they do look after it. I mean, this is all managed. All of this around us is managed. And it's kept in balance between what we need, what nature needs, what commerce needs, as much as I hate to say it, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. I bet he gets paid a bloody hell of a lot of money to put these, to have the electric company stuff on his land. I bet you they pay him every year. Doing all right out of that, isn't he? And Daddy gave him the ground. Anyway, I think I've found the next part of my journey, which is cutting across it. So, I'm a bit out of breath. And I want to get off the road, really. I've got the sun behind me now, spoiling it all for you all. But anyway, I'm going on again, so let's continue. Look at the size of this. That is a tree, or was a tree. Look at it. Absolutely humongous. Absolutely massive. That lived in here at some point. Wow. Anyway, I'm now on a public footpath on the other side of the hill. But what I have noticed is that even though this is all privately owned, this land, there are people walking the dogs over there. So, you know, it is managed and allowed access land. I don't know, it doesn't even look like it's fields. It might not be fields, it might just be, you know, in so much as like crops. Unless it's fallow this year. That's a good way to look after the ground, is actually give it time to breathe in between putting the crops in every year. Again, lots of private signs over there. And yeah. But it's very beautiful. And another great big bit of tree. Look at this. Look at this. That is massive. How old was that when it came over? Probably brought down in a storm, I'd imagine. Look at that. There's the bullseye. Wonder how many years that's seen. Wonder how many years of history we're looking through there. It could tell you a tale or two, couldn't it? If they could talk. Yeah, there's the usual signs of dog walkers. I know most dog walkers are pretty good people and they do take their stuff home. But there's nothing worse for me than coming out to a place like this and seeing bags of dog shit hanging in the trees. I hate it. Why don't they just let the dogs do it down there and scoot it off into underneath? But yeah, I think by the looks of it, there's an estate over here. Should I? I might. Where's that? I've got people right behind me. Perhaps not. Aren't they horrible things? Nasty great thing. Look at it. Big string of them running through the countryside. Oh, people obviously come up here. I need to find a little bit of privacy because I need a bee. I need a little boy time. But yeah, aren't they horrible? So I stopped from a little pee break there and I realised that, I don't know if you can see it, does it pick it up? Is the Sandy Heath transmitter. Because this is Sandy Heath, this is the heathland above Sandy. And that does have something to do with the Borough Hill as well. Because obviously these are the BBC transmitters back in the day. But yeah, I only came off the track to talk about these things and then I saw that. Look at the woodland back there. There's some ancient trees here. Anyway, I'm almost back at the, the RSPB place. If I get time, I want to just go back behind that big fancy house and see that other hill fort. I'll take back what I've said. I thought this was owned by nice gentlemen and, you know, ladies of the land, but apparently it's owned by Tarmac. Look at this. RSPB is managing this land, owned by Tarmac for wildlife. Seed mixes have been sown to encourage farmland birds, insects and flowers. As if a great big company owns this. I mean, a multinational firm owns this. How crazy is that? I mean, we're allowed to walk on it, but what, you know, I mean, what use is it to Tarmac? I'm sure there probably will be someday that they'll find some ways of making money out of it. Crazy. So that's quite strange. I've just walked all the way down this lovely little country path in between the fields and the sandy heath. I've come to the end of it, and it's got traffic lights. I've never seen a footpath with traffic lights before. That's very strange. I can kind of understand the crossing signs because it looks like it's a busy road. But yeah, look, traffic lights. I wonder if that's to tell the horses, because that one up there, look, is for people on horses, isn't it? This one down for normal people. It is, it's a, what do you call it? It's a horse crossing. I've never seen a horse crossing before. Well, there you go, I'm in the countryside. So this beautiful little building was apparently built by William Peel, who was the son of the Prime Minister, Robert Peel, who was instrumental in setting up the police force, in about 1850. He called it the Swiss Cottage. And this was the first building on the site, and then the lodge was built down there, the big building that we saw right at the beginning of the video, in about 1870, once it had transferred to his son, once the land had gone to his son. But that is a very pretty little thing, isn't it? This is the main entrance up to the RSPB site. Vauxhall's just down there. Busy road just behind me, people beeping at each other. I've heard a fair few people screaming up and down in their little hot hatches and things. But I am going to go and just have a quick look at the back of the, behind the, what do you call it again? The big house, the lodge. Because I don't think I was actually on top of the hill fort. I've had a look at the maps and I think I might have just been out of sight. But yeah, I'll see you down there. I've actually walked round a great big loop and I've walked past Vauxhall, but I'm getting me 6 quid's worth. Why not, eh? I'm going to go and look at the other side of the actual main building, the RSPB building, because I think I might have got it mixed up, but we'll see. But yeah, they're doing a very good job of keeping this, you know, when you consider that this is the worldwide, or I suppose it is worldwide headquarters for a charity that apparently was set up in 1889 or something. And obviously I'm sure we all know of the RSPB, but not really what they do. And it's obviously, a lot of it is wealthy people that care about the environment. You know, looking at the history of it, it was actually bought, this house here was bought by some person, I can't remember his name now, but for one day he actually owned the whole property, and then he gave it to the or he was doing something to do with the finance or something over to the RSPB, but he was rich enough to actually be able to afford it, which is amazing really, isn't it? And we often think that rich people don't, you know, they're just, you know, capitalists and this, that and the other, but I suppose people are people, aren't they? Anyway, I'm going this way because they have houses over here, that way, but I want to go round this way, and there's lots of little signs and things, so let's have a look at what they say. Bridle way, okay. Tree on the path. A fallen tree is obstructing the path. Right, okay. So, way up. Obviously a popular place for cyclists and walkers, and just back up there I actually saw, it's almost, I think they must provide it, the RSPB must provide, there's a little area up there, and there's kids building little wigwams with the sticks that are lying around. And I'm sure that, you know, the RSPB probably provide that rather than the kids coming in here and snapping bits off. Ooh, look at this. This is ancient woodland, look at this. Wow. Look at the age of these trees in here. Wow. How beautiful. And there's still some of the sort of introduced pines and things, but look at these oaks and great big hazels. Are they? No, they're not hazels, are they? Shut up, Jamie. Look at that. It's on its last legs, that one, isn't it? Oh, I don't know, actually. That one's fell onto that, hasn't it? So that one's come over onto this. But look at that. I think it's an oak. Anyway, there's a family coming towards me, so yeah, great big oak tree. Look at the size of it. Anyway, let's go and find this hill fort. So I'm off the beaten track again. The fallen tree was just back there, but I've come over the other side, and yeah, you can see how this does actually command, where there's less trees, how this does actually command a bit of a view of the surrounding area, doesn't it? Like I say, right over there in the distance, I believe that is the start of the Ridgeway, which is obviously, you've got the Ridgeway and the Icknield Way that run sort of across the north-south divide, I suppose, really, isn't it? I think they go sort of up to Suffolk somewhere and then all the way down to the south coast. But I'm going back over here. One thing I did notice when I was walking through here, these Scots pines are, I think they've been planted here. But if you look underneath or on the ground in between, you'll see these big tussocks. Can you see that one there? And I reckon that is where an ancient tree used to live. That's probably all that's left of it now. Look at that. It's a burial mound in its own right, really, isn't it? Or maybe not, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just a rabbit warren. Do they actually build? I suppose they do, don't they? There you go. Anyway, where's this fallen tree? There it is. There's the fallen tree. Yeah. Not very strong in the ground. It's been down for a while and all. Unless a lot of people are the cyclists. Lots of cyclists coming through, look. But, oh yeah, rotten to the core. Look at that. Absolutely rotten. Yeah, look at it. Wow. I mean, no, still pretty solid. Yeah, no, there's a fair bit of rot there though on this side of it, look. So that's what's brought that down. And again, look, new trees that they're planted, surrounded by... Oh, to be fair, that is actually breaking down a bit better, isn't it? Oh, that's better. I like that more. But I think I'm heading up that hill there. So I've taken a bit of a detour, and I've ended up in the gardens for the manor house. And you can access it. Look at this. Look at that. Ornamental pond. The whole works, man. This is gorgeous. Classical Greek bust. Wonderful. Lots of people up here enjoying themselves. There is the promise of toilets as well, which is nice. But yeah. That is a Roman emperor, I'm sure it is. I'm sure that is... Oh, it says there. Oh, it just says given by Peter Newbury. Doesn't say who it is. Betula pendula youngii, silver birch. But that's had a life, hasn't it? Right, so yeah, this is the RSPB headquarters. What a place. You imagine being the lord of the manor back here in the day, in the 1890s, with all your aristocratic friends and entertaining here. And yeah, this is the family of Robert Peel owned it. It's now owned, obviously, by the RSPB. Look at this great big hall in here. I mean, obviously, it's used to... Look at that fireplace. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. Wow. Wooden panelling. What an impressive structure. Wow. Wow. Built by family money, but now owned by the RSPB. How interesting. I bet it's absolutely packed here in the summer. Flomis. Look at that. That'll come out with a really bright orange, yellow flower come summer. It looks very much like a sage. I think it's in the salvia family. Monkey puzzle tree. Viburnum tinus. Relative of the red plants that you get at Christmas. Can't think of the names. But yeah, this is stunning. Wow. I'll have to stop and get some photos. Little foxy fox. I need to get some photos of this. What does amuse me, you've got this beautiful, beautiful house and these supposedly beautifully manicured lawns, but the moles are like everywhere. You used to have mole men back in the day, didn't you? People who are actually paid. You can see the line that one travelled along. Look at that. So he's dug his way along there, then he's come up there, then he's come up there. Look, and that one there is really quite fresh. Look at that. That's really fresh, that is. So I wonder where he is. He's not far, is he? He's not far away. But yeah, like I say, you've got this beautiful country house, and the whole of this manicured lawn type of thing is covered in these molehills. But either way, that's still not finding the hill fort, is it? So let's go and find the hill fort. Right, I'm running out of daylight now. Well, not really, there's still a bit, but you know, and I still want to find this other hill fort. But yeah, I bet this is swarming in the summer. I mean, it's busy today. They've got toilets just back there, which is where I went. And but I bet this is absolutely packed in summer, and for good reason, you know. And to give the RSPB their due, they're certainly looking after this area, and I know they do on a wider scale as well. Oh, a little bench there to overlook the world. Look at everything going past. Beautiful. But yeah, let's get back down there and let's go and find this hill fort. So I have found it. I was going to scramble down and then scramble back up again, but it looks like there's a path leading to it. It doesn't actually have a name, this one. It's just a promontory fort. There's the RSPB buildings, and then here is the last of today's hill forts. And again, you can see there's a little bit of ditch and bank there, but not much. Pretty much all gone now, this one. But I'll overlay the LiDAR images, you'll be seeing them through the video anyway. But even climbing up these steps provided, it's not that easy to get up here. Wow. Look at these trees, man. But look at the views. You can imagine 3,000 years ago, well, hopefully you can imagine it, 3,000 years ago, being up here, trying to keep your family safe and fed through the winter, and having this little bit of bare earth on top of this hill overlooking all of this land around. Yeah, wow. So yeah, I didn't find it earlier, and I'm glad I've come back. Yeah, interestingly, there's a little bit of concrete just there. I wonder what that is. Underneath. Look at this tree. Wow, I'm trying to get in there and it's... Okay, what does this say? Okay, what does that mean? BCED EHT joint. That must be something electrical or something, mustn't it? Don't know. Interesting though. But yeah, so this is my final hill fort for the day. You can see how well it would have been defended. You know, trying to come up here, this is really steep. Relatively flat up here. I'm not seeing much sign of any banks, but the archaeology would suggest that there were Mesolithic flints and things found up in around here. Don't know where exactly, but you can see over here. Look at the views down there. So that's the train line running into down to London. I think I read it goes to St Pancras, but I might be wrong. I don't know. Look at the views over. I mean, I bet if I knew which way to look, I could probably see bits of London from up here. Maybe not, because the ridge is in the way, isn't it? The ridgeway's there, isn't it? Stevenage is down there as well, isn't it? Harlow. Harlow's a little bit off to the west, isn't it? But look at those views, and you can understand why you'd have your hill fort up here, can't you? How difficult it would be to get up through this terrain. Yeah. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to go back to the car and I'm going to go home. Thank you very much for watching. These are really interesting things to me, and I'm sure that, you know, they might not be that interesting to you, and that's cool, that's fine, I don't mind. But I love coming out and looking at them and just trying to picture myself as more primitive than I already am, I suppose. And living up here on your wits, on the wisdom that's been handed down to you from your ancestors. And a lot of the time they'd have had burial mounds on these places that, you know, that's where the ancestors were honoured. Like we saw earlier on with the little church, you know, graveyard, cemetery. That's where we honour ours now. But I don't think there's a better place to end this video than up here on this unnamed hill fort. It doesn't actually have a name. Just outside Sandy. Royal Society for the Protection of Birds headquarters is literally just through those trees there. You can just come out, walk onto it and step into history. All the history from, you know, all the way back in the Bronze Age, Stone Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age, right back up to, you know, the people who built the house, the peelers, or the peels. That's why, you know, the coppers used to be called peelers. Anyway, I'm going on again. That tree's better. I'm gonna go over and finish my video underneath this tree. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please comment. And it's very much appreciated for the people that do watch and comment, even the ones that aren't the kindest, I don't care. But from this great big ancient oak tree, it's not an oak tree, but this great big ancient tree here, it's goodbye. Goodbye.